Thank you, choir. That was beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, set aside the press and crush of the world as it is, and wonder with us about a world as it could be. Make room in your heart for the gift of joy. Prepare for the possibility of peace. Refuse to let fear have the final word. And journey with us as we follow the star of love. Come, let us kindle the lights of Christmas together.
Welcome to those of you who are here with us for the first time. Welcome to those of you who have been here with us for generations. Welcome to you who are here every week and you who are here every once in a while. Welcome to those of you attending with us online, making sacred space out of screens and laptops. May we all be here together as if for the first time, with fresh eyes and listening ears and open hearts. May we all be here together as if we are all longtime companions, comfortable and comforted and at ease in each other's presence, as we wrap ourselves in the spirit of love that is at the heart of this story we are about to tell. Welcome to you who have silenced your cell phones. And welcome to you who are already planning on Instagramming the candlelight. We all look so beautiful by candlelight, don't we? Welcome, believers, skeptics, atheists, agnostics. Welcome to the faithful and welcome to the ambivalent and those who might be ambivalent but haven't quite made up your mind yet. Welcome to the weary and the wondering, the heartbroken and the hopeful. Welcome to you who are excited. Welcome to you who are anxious, you who are bored, you who are grieving, and you who are simply thrilled to be alive here on this earth. Did I leave anyone out? I hope not, because what I mean to say is whoever you are and whatever circumstance you find yourself in this evening, you are welcome here. Tonight, we light candles of peace and goodwill. We retell an ancient story about the birth of a humble child, and we make room in our heart for joy. And we remember that we are the ones who must carry the light of love into the world. In the spirit of Christmas, welcome one, welcome all. Let us begin with song. Let us rise in body and spirit and sing together. It came upon a midnight clear.
Stay.
us light our first candle, the light of peace in our hearts. If there is to be peace anywhere in the world, it must start right here, within each of us. This Christmas season, may we find room in our hearts for peace. May our cares be lifted, spirits strengthened, and may we all know deep in our heart that we are loved.
Tonight, we will be reading the story of Jesus' nativity from two of the Gospels of the Christian Bible, books of Luke and Matthew. The Gospel of Luke is where much of the classic Christmas story is found. When you think of the baby lying in the manger and the shepherds in the fields and the angels singing about peace on earth, you are thinking of the Gospel of Luke. The story of Jesus' birth also appears in the Gospel of Matthew. That is where the wise men, the Magi, are found, and the stories of the wicked King Herod, who forced the Holy Family to flee to safety in Egypt. The words of these ancient texts have been repeated and embellished in songs and stories so often that they may sound familiar even if you've never read the scripture before and didn't know exactly where they came from. And of course, we're reading a text that was translated into English from its original Greek, which was probably translated before that from Aramaic. So tonight, I invite us into the practice of listening to these words in the spirit of generous interpretation, knowing that the theology of the authors and songwriters may be very different from our own. But as the liberal theologian and civil rights leader Howard Thurman reminds us, Christmas is a mood, a quality, a symbol. It is never merely a fact. So I invite us to open our imaginations and our hearts and allow the story and songs to unfold among us once more.
In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea to Bethlehem in the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them.
A contemporary reading by Maureen Killaram. No one is ever really ready for Christmas. If we were really all prepared, if every gift we had contemplated had been obtained, if every present were beautifully beribboned, if all the goodies our friends deserve were baked and cooled and stored just so, if each and every person we love was gathered for our celebration, if we never snapped at someone we cared about, nor stopped short of being all we could be, if our minds were 100% loving and our hearts were 100% generous, then truly we would be ready. And truly we would not need Christmas quite so much. So come Christmas, most needed of seasons. Come with the reminder that love does not depend on perfection, but on willingness to risk connection. Come into the unready manger of our hearts, that we may feel the warmth of new life and give flesh to the promise of hope that cries to bring healing into our world.
Let us light our second candle, the candle of peace in our homes. Like the Holy Family, let peace reside with us no matter where we lay our heads. This Christmas season, may all who are frightened find safety. May all who are seeking sanctuary find welcome. And may all who are weary find a place to rest.
Let us rise in body and spirit to sing together, O Little Town of Bethlehem. There were some shepherds staying out in the fields and keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord suddenly stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terribly frightened. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will be for all the people. For today, in the city of David, there has been born to you a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." And suddenly there appeared with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and goodwill to all." When the angels had gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds began saying to one another, "Let us go straight to Bethlehem then, and see this thing which has happened, which the Lord hath made known to us." So they came in a hurry and found their way to Mary and Joseph and the baby as he lay in the manger. When they had seen this, they made known the statement which had been told to them about this child. And all who heard it wondered at the things that were told to them by the shepherds. But Mary treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds went back, glorifying and praising God for all they had seen and heard, just as had been told them.
A poem by Patrick Murfin. Today, let us be that stable, Let us be the place that welcomes at last the weary and rejected, the pilgrim stranger, the coming life. Let not the frigid winds that pierce our inadequate walls, or our mildewed hay, or the fetid leavings of our cattle shame us from our beckoning. Let our outstretched arms be a manger, so that the infant hope, swaddled in love, may have a place to lie. Let a cold beacon shine down upon us from a solstice sky to guide us, to guide to us the seekers who will come. Let the lowly shepherd and all who abide in the fields of their labors lay down their crooks and come to us. Let the seers, sages, and potentates of every land traverse the shifting dunes, the rushing rivers, and the stony crags to seek our rude frame. Let herdsmen and high lords kneel together under our thatched roof to lay their gifts before wonder. Today, let us be that stable.
We light our third candle this evening, the light of peace in our community. Like the shepherds and angels, let us spread the word of peace wherever we go. This Christmas season, may we recommit ourselves to the work of building the beloved community, a community that acts with compassion, supports the vulnerable, celebrates the beauty of life, and leaves no one outside the circle of care. Let us sing together once more. Please rise in body and spirit to sing Angels We Have Heard on High. glorious to sing along to the organ? If everyone looks beautiful by candlelight, everyone sounds beautiful when accompanied by an organ. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born, King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshiped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route.
A reading by Rebecca Parker called A House for Hope. What if the new life, the tender existence of the divine, enters the world through places where life is at risk, and people must come together to create ways to tend life with care so it will survive? Facing into human suffering is necessary, and in communities of justice and compassion, God's presence can be manifest as people offer loving presence to one another.
We kindle our fourth flame this evening, the light of peace in our world. Like the Magi, we are called to respond to the events of our time with wisdom and generosity. We are all citizens of this planet, and our fates are bound up together. This Christmas season, may the people of the world recognize their kinship with one another. May the hearts of our leaders bend toward love, and may peace on earth be our guiding star. As is our Christmas Eve tradition, our offering will be used to reach out to those in need, to bring just a little more love and justice into our world. Tonight's offering will be shared between the Freedom Warming Centers and the Minister's Discretionary Fund. The Freedom Warming Centers are an interfaith network that gives shelter to our neighbors living on the streets, offering a warm, dry, and safe place to rest when the winter weather turns cold and wet. And tonight, here on our campus, we will be having people sleeping safely this evening. For the past over 10 years, I think, the Unitarian Society has been a leader in this county-wide program. The Minister's Discretionary Fund is a lifeline. It allows us to respond to the immediate needs of people in our community, distributing funds confidentially on a case-by-case basis and helping folks through hard times. You can read more about each of these programs in your order of service. Please give as generously as you are able so that we may continue to do this good work together.
The joyful singing, message of delight, the nightingale is ringing. Message of delight, the nightingale is ringing. Hear the joyful singing, message of delight, endless green. Message of delight, the nightingale is green. With his song of peace he brings to every nation, calling all to join their hearts in jubilation. No more needless war, no more hunger for the poor. Let the world unite, helping one another more. Real cheer, hear the joyful singing. Message of delight, the nightingale is ringing. 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 Message of love that sings to all creation. Bringing joy to all and a celebration. For the season now stands for love and hope and peace. Carry it beyond, never let the singing cease. Really cheer, hear the joyful singing. Message of delight, the nightingale is ringing. Message of delight, the nightingale is ringing.
I have to move the box because earlier there was an angel of the Lord standing up here. That was during our pageant in the 5 o'clock. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's so wonderful to see you all here and to know you're here with us. Every year, as Christmas comes around, I try and figure out what the feeling of this particular Christmas season is going to be. Some years, joy takes center stage, and we find ourselves singing carols with an especially cheerful gusto, or we delight in watching a child catch that very first glimpse of presents under the tree. Sometimes it's peace that captures us. And the most memorable moments of the season are a quiet walk around the neighborhood to look at the lights, or cozying up with a warm cider by the fireplace. Some years, I feel especially moved by generosity, giving and receiving gifts, both physical and spiritual, trading cookies and compliments, and looking for places where I can show up for the greater good. This year, this Christmas, I find myself approaching Christmas Eve, hoping for just a little bit of wonder to break through, a little bit of wonder to soften me up, to break me open for the new year, so I can get things started with something more than just a grim resolve to make the best of it. Have you felt that recently, right? We're kind of hunkering down. We're going to make 2023, we're going to make the best of it. We deserve more than that. We've all survived several long years of care and concern, years of anxiety often and despair sometimes. We need a little bit of wonder to remind us that there are still and always beautiful surprises out there, not just disappointing test results or nasty shocks. This year, Christmas has arrived to remind us that wonder is as necessary as any other aspect of the season, and that we all deserve more than what we already know. We deserve more than what we already know. Because wonder is not just about catching a glimpse of the unknown. It is the unknown wrapped in appreciation, like a baby wrapped in swaddling cloth. Wonder is what we feel when we look forward to discovery, when we anticipate the possibility of the unknown rather than fear it. Wonder is what opens our hearts and minds so that we can be surprised by joy, like the shepherds in the fields, suddenly finding themselves surrounded by angels. Wonder is when we gaze upon the unknown with a deep and abiding love for life. When we look up into the night sky and we find ourselves amazed that underneath these stars, we exist. Life exists at all. Isn't that wonderful? When we look into the eyes of a child and see there the future, mysterious and unknowable to us, revealed only to the generations who will follow. I'm convinced that a healthy sense of wonder is one of the cornerstones of a full and enriching life. And so Christmas offers us many invitations to wonder, the wonder of children as they gaze at those mysterious wrapped presents, the wonder of memories, how people long gone return to us in our hearts and minds this time of year. We gaze upon the infant Jesus and we wonder how the story of this tiny baby survived for thousands of years, how it became such a powerful push and pull in our world. And we're reminded that every baby is a mystery with the potential for changing the world. We wonder what Mary felt pondering those things in her heart. We wonder how we would react if, like the shepherds, we saw an angel appear right before us. We wonder if we would have the courage of the Magi to confront a king and subvert his violent plans. At an even more elemental level, as we gather in a candlelit crowd, we wonder at the mystery of fire and light, the way we don't really know exactly how it all works, only that it does. And that candlelight kindles something deep and elemental within us in response. Some people come to Christmas Eve services for the songs. Some people come for the story, but nearly everyone is really here for the mysterious, wondrous beauty of each other's faces by candlelight. So this Christmas Eve, may you find wonder rekindled in your heart, so that you may wake on Christmas morning to the possibilities all around us, the possibilities of peace, the possibilities of hope, the possibilities of more and more love that is always within us, waiting to be discovered. Merry Christmas, and may it be wonderful. In just a moment, we will pass the candlelight throughout the sanctuary, bending toward the light, the unlit candle bending toward the lit candle. And Charlotte and I will demonstrate here, just like this. And if you're joining us from home, if you have a candle that you would like to kindle to be ready to join us, go ahead and let our lights shine across this community, perhaps across the world. And if there's any kids here, you can help your parents with how to light these candles, because sometimes parents get excited and forget. And at the end of the service, after we're done singing Silent Night together, remember to blow out your candle carefully so you don't get wax all over your neighbor's beautiful Christmas outfit. We are going to let the choir come down to begin lighting your candles. And we're going to sing together the first 2 verses of Silent Night, and then pause for the words of benediction, and then continue to sing the final 2 verses together. of the Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins.
Find the lost,
To heal the broken,
to feed the hungry,
to release the prisoner,
to rebuild the nations,
to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. Merry and wonderful Christmas.